Among the vast body of literature that has shaped human thought and storytelling, few works possess the enduring resonance of the Odyssey. Its significance lies not merely in its portrayal of gods, mythical creatures, and distant lands, but in its deeply human core. At the center of this narrative is Odysseus, a figure defined as much by his intellect and resilience as by his imperfections. He is not an idealized hero untouched by weakness. Rather, he is a man whose journey reveals the complexity of human nature, its ambition, its pride, its longing, and its capacity for endurance. Following the conclusion of the Trojan War, Odysseus sets out to return to his homeland of Ithaca. What might have been a straightforward voyage becomes instead an extended passage marked by disruption, delay, and profound transformation. From the outset, his path is shaped not only by natural forces, but by divine intervention. His earlier actions, particularly those rooted in pride, provoke the displeasure of the gods. Most notably, the sea god Poseidon becomes his adversary, ensuring that the journey home will be neither swift nor easy. In this sense, Odysseus is engaged in more than a physical voyage. He is navigating a reality in which human intention must constantly contend with forces beyond its control. As the journey unfolds, Odysseus and his men encounter situations that test not only their physical strength, but their sense of identity and purpose. When they arrive among the Lotus Eaters, some of his crew succumb to a fruit that induces forgetfulness and detachment from all responsibilities. The danger here is subtle yet profound. It is the loss of memory, the erosion of purpose, and the abandonment of home. Odysseus responds decisively, compelling his men to return to the ships. In doing so, he demonstrates a form of leadership grounded in clarity and resolve, recognizing that survival depends as much on mental discipline as on physical capability. Yet Odysseus himself is not immune to error. His encounter with the Cyclops Polyphemus illustrates both his ingenuity and his vulnerability to pride. He devises an effective strategy to escape the creature's grasp, blinding it and securing his men's freedom. However, in a moment of self-assertion, he reveals his true identity as he departs. This act, seemingly small in the moment, carries significant consequences. It allows Polyphemus to call upon Poseidon, intensifying the hardships that follow. This episode underscores a recurring theme, that intelligence, when coupled with unchecked pride, can lead to unintended and far-reaching repercussions. Throughout his journey, Odysseus repeatedly encounters forms of temptation that challenge his priorities and sense of direction. With Circe, he is confronted with a power that transforms men into lesser versions of themselves, both literally and metaphorically. While he ultimately resists her influence and restores his companions, he remains with her for an extended period, illustrating how even a strong will can be drawn into comfort and delay. The experience reflects a broader human tendency to lose momentum when confronted with environments that offer ease at the expense of progress. A similar tension emerges in his encounter with the Sirens. Their song represents the allure of ultimate knowledge and fulfillment, a promise that appeals to curiosity and desire. Aware of the danger, Odysseus takes calculated precautions, ensuring that he alone hears the song while being physically restrained. The episode reveals a nuanced understanding of human limitation. Rather than denying his vulnerability, he anticipates it and constructs safeguards. In doing so, he exemplifies a disciplined approach to risk, acknowledging temptation without surrendering to it. Perhaps the most defining period of Odysseus' journey occurs during his time on the island of Calypso. There, he is offered immortality, a life free from suffering and uncertainty. Such an offer would seem irresistible, yet Odysseus declines. His decision is not impulsive. It reflects a deeply held value system in which meaning is derived not from endless existence, but from connection, memory, and belonging. His desire to return to Penelope, his wife, outweighs the appeal of eternal life. This choice reveals a central truth about his character. He is guided not solely by ambition or survival, but by a commitment to relationships that define his identity. As the years pass, the cumulative cost of his journey becomes increasingly evident. His companions are lost, often as a result of misjudgment or disobedience. His resources are depleted, and his position as a leader is reduced to that of a solitary survivor. In this state of isolation, Odysseus is forced to rely entirely on his internal resilience. What sustains him is not certainty, but memory, The persistent image of home, of Penelope's loyalty, and of his son Telemachus growing in his absence. These intangible anchors provide the motivation to endure circumstances that might otherwise lead to despair. Upon finally reaching Ithaca, Odysseus does not immediately reclaim his former life. Instead, he adopts a position of observation, disguising himself to better understand the situation within his household. His palace has been overtaken by suitors who, believing him dead, seek to marry Penelope and claim his authority. This period of concealment allows Odysseus to assess loyalty, betrayal, and the state of his kingdom. It also demonstrates a refined form of strength, one that values patience and strategy over immediate action. When he ultimately reveals himself, the resolution is decisive. The suitors are removed, order is restored, and Odysseus is reunited with his family. However, the significance of this conclusion extends beyond the restoration of power. It represents the fulfillment of a prolonged effort defined by endurance, adaptation, and unwavering commitment to a singular goal. His return is not merely a physical homecoming. It is the re-establishment of identity and purpose. The enduring relevance of this narrative lies in its reflection of universal human experiences. While the specific challenges faced by Odysseus are framed within a mythological context, their underlying themes remain applicable across time and culture. Individuals continue to encounter distractions that divert them from their objectives, moments of pride that carry unforeseen consequences, and periods of loss that test their resilience. The concept of home, as portrayed in the story, extends beyond a physical location to encompass relationships, values, and a sense of belonging. In a broader sense, the journey of Odysseus can be understood as a structured exploration of perseverance. It suggests that progress is rarely linear, and that setbacks are not deviations from the path, but integral components of it. The narrative also emphasizes the importance of self-awareness, recognizing one's strengths while remaining mindful of inherent limitations. From a professional and analytical perspective, engagement with this text remains highly valuable. Readers are encouraged to approach the narrative not only as a story, but as a framework for reflection. Consider how the decisions made by Odysseus align with or diverge from contemporary approaches to leadership, responsibility, and personal development. Examine the role of external forces, whether conceptualized as fate, environment, or circumstance, and how they interact with individual agency. Audience engagement plays a critical role in sustaining the relevance of such works. Thoughtful commentary allows for the exchange of interpretations, enabling the text to evolve within modern contexts. Readers may wish to reflect on specific elements of the journey that resonate with their own experiences, whether related to perseverance, identity, or the pursuit of long-term goals. Contributions that analyze character behavior, thematic structure, or philosophical implications are particularly valuable in extending the depth of discussion. Expressions of appreciation, including endorsements or positive feedback, serve as indicators of the narrative's continued impact. They also help identify which aspects of the story most effectively connect with contemporary audiences. In professional or academic settings, such engagement can inform further exploration, discussion, and reinterpretation. Ultimately, the story of Odysseus persists because it operates on multiple levels: narrative, symbolic, and philosophical. It offers not only a compelling account of a man's return home, but also a lens through which to examine the broader human condition. Each reader who engages with it contributes to its ongoing significance, ensuring that it remains not a static relic of the past, but a dynamic and evolving work that continues to inform and inspire.